Outsourcing, and why are some businesses able to succeed and why others don't, and how does outsourcing play an important role? Coming up, roll it. So I had a great conversation with somebody about the success and failure mentality and why some people are able to succeed and other people are able to just continually not succeed. And you know, they fail at what they do, or they keep hustling and nothing ever works out, and it's a continual progression of this, you know, not getting anywhere, but you think you're getting in it somewhere, and it just never keeps moving along. And they really drove home a great point, and that was that they're doing everything, and they try to do everything the way they want it, but it never works out. However, they missed an important point, that you can't be great at everything. At one point or another, you need to rely on other people because we have X amount of skill sets that we can use. I made a video about productivity and how to be productive, and I'll list it below. And this whole idea behind being productive is that you need to know your skill sets and then outsource whatever else you're not really that great at. Now, this person was really in that phase of, well, no, I can't do that because I don't have enough money to do that. They weren't looking at the big picture, and the big picture really comes down to they spend all their day focused on everything. So they're working from the moment they wake up in the day at 8 in the morning, all the way down to 11, 12. And they're working non-stop on everything, from their business to the Facebook to the Instagram to all the different social media, to market or accounting, you name it. And there's a typical example of how this roller coaster works with people, and that is that they get caught up in doing everything, they forget to do what's important. Let me be more specific. Well, you have somebody who starts a business, they go out and they start networking, they're marketing, they're doing ads, they're doing all this stuff, and they finally pick up a few clients, they finally pick up a few projects, and off they go. They then continue to work 3 months, 4 months on these projects, and all of a sudden, they stopped doing all the networking they were doing because they got comfortable with the projects, but now these other projects are slowing down. And once these projects slow down and they end and their timeline comes and expires, they have nothing new to work on. This is something that causes great problems because now you gotta go start up the whole networking and marketing procedure from the start. And it puts you in a tight position where money is not coming in. This is the forget to do the important things that brought that little initial success. Let me emphasize this. They forget to do what's important. They forget to do what brings success, and it really hurts them in the long run. In order to not deal with that hiccup down the road, we have to look at it from a perspective of what can we actually outsource? What can we actually give to somebody to do that is within our budget? Did I mention a budget? We need a budget, and money's coming in, so you have to create a budget. When we're talking about outsourcing, we're looking at the main factors that your skill sets are really good so you can stay productive. If it is marketing and networking, then that needs to be a core of your business. You cannot stop doing the networking and marketing, but again, like the example, you go into this routine of working with the clients and then you forget to do that most important part of networking. So maybe the outsourcing comes in that place where you need to bring somebody in and budget somebody to do the work while you go find more business. If you're worried about finding more business while having somebody working there with you, then trust me, it'll be worse when you have to go back to network and find more business. You have this interruption, you don't have the cash flow anymore, and it really hurts your opportunity, your mentality, and your motivation to keep going with this new adventure you're on. This is a great example that I have with people that come to me for Facebook ads, for Google ads, for any kind of video work, and they're like, well, I really want to get going and I want to do an online business and I want to do this. And when I tell them, well, you got to go do all these things and they will yield results, and in order for us to do it, we need to spend this much money, they look at me and they go, ooh, that's too expensive. And some people are like, well, yeah, I want to do it, but and the reality is that if you start Facebook ads and you're not spending a minimum of like 10 to 20 to 30 bucks a day, you're really wasting your money. You're not going to see the results you want to see. And the work that comes out of it is time. There's a lot of time that's spent. And if you're not doing it, you got to pay somebody to do it. And when somebody offers you a package that's good, you got to ask yourself, what am I going to get in the long term from this, and how am I going to grow this so that I can get the maximum benefit from my outsourcing? Yes, doing a lot of stuff is critical, and you need to. It's a hustle. You need to keep learning when you're in business. You need to keep moving, and you need to keep growing in new things. However, there's certain stuff that you may not want to spend that time. I can tell you that Facebook ads, I spent a lot of money testing Facebook ads just so I can get things moving in the right direction. The book alone, I spent so much money just testing the colors out to see what response rates I'm getting and who my ideal candidate would be, and to put it in line with the person I really want to target. Well, we got to spend money for that, and Facebook is asking for that money, and then you got to pay the person that's going to do that. And if you're not learning and actively learning and willing to budget to learn, then you need to pay somebody who knows how to do it. I'm not taking away from you and you as a person trying to learn. I'm looking at it from a realistic perspective that when you start a business, you have X amount of time to get it moving, or else you will have to close up shop eventually. You have X amount of money to keep going, A. B, you have X amount of personal will to keep going. I meet a lot of people that are like accountants, that bookkeepers that have been working, they're making 60, 70,000, and then they decide, oh, I'm gonna go do it on my own. And when they go do it on their own, what ends up occurring? Well, they're spending 16 hours a day working on everything, and they're still not clearing 50 grand. And eventually they might clear 100, and they're still spending 16 hours, and it might have been a 5-year process to do this. But they're not moving into that $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 zone that they were picturing in their mind. And it would have been better to just stay working. Mentality catches up. Motivation goes down. And your actual idea of what you're doing is realized down the road, and you end up quitting instead of being in that place. So when we're looking at outsourcing, we're looking at what are our skill sets, what are we good at, what do we need to be doing, and then we look at who can we bring in, where's the opportunity in bringing somebody else in that will help us succeed in those aspects. And if we can put this into perspective, then we can be in a state of realization of what we need to do, what we need to budget, and how to move on. And if you're asking me, well, I don't have a budget, well, I can tell you this, time after time, people will pick up contracts, they'll get into web design, or they'll get into, trades, they'll pick up contracts, and instead of budgeting a percentage of that contract, they take that money and they put it in their pocket, and that's their income made. And it's a wrong way to think about it. What you should be saying is, I'm gonna pay myself X amount of dollars. So if I'm charging a pretty bill of $75 or $150, I'm only gonna pay myself 30 bucks an hour, and the rest will go back into getting me more business. And that's how we start looking at creating budgets. Budgets are, the mindset of it. I'm gonna make a whole video on it. But look at it from the perspective that you need to grow, and you can only grow if you outsource properly and effectively. And at the end of the day, if you do this, you will see success. This is Nico's Mentos, mentorsapproach.com. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what kind of things you do with outsourcing and how you effectively manage that. And of course, subscribe.